I always are like, is it going to happen? Because I know for you, it just suddenly pops out there. For us, it's like, and sometimes and then it does. And it's sort of like, oh, there it is. So apologize if we startled you with our entry. Um, Today, my conversation is dementia like a disease, like this idea of dementia like a medical condition only. And like, so if it's a disease, is there a cure? And it's like, So, we've had this discussion many times, Matthew, about dementia being a great big umbrella term. And then under that umbrella, having specific conditions that people live with. But this is more like, is it just a medical phenomena? Is this something that if we figured out the right combination of drugs and treatments and maybe surgery, we would be able to fix this in people? And I'm here to say absolutely not. This is a multifactorial, very complex condition. And what we say is it's a life condition, it's a changing of your life condition. It changes your life because it changes your abilities. And the abilities are in so many areas. And notice I keep using the word changing because this is not about just losing something. It's about a change. It's neuroplasticity as well as neurodegeneration. Now, when something degenerates and it dies, I can't use that thing. But when something changes and morphs, if I notice what it is and how it works and I get curious about it, I have greater opportunity to go, okay, so wow, new ability over here, or different ability state, or using an ability that they didn't use before. I mean, it had it, but it didn't get really used that much. And this isn't in one lane. This is in social abilities, it's spiritual abilities, it's physical abilities, it's visual abilities, it's language abilities, it's legal abilities. And for me, it's really for me the challenge is until we can start seeing this as a societal phenomena. We need to change how we see this, how we view this, what we do with it, because our legal system is literally bleh when it comes to dementia. I mean, if you're not able to accurately predict your own abilities and get support in place at the right times and the right moments for financial, for legal, for medical, for transportation, for housing, for blah 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 blah, what will end up happening is people will decide competent, incompetent. And a lot of assumptions get made rather than because we don't have careful assessment tools. If you were to ask most physicians, who are the ones who often get to determine is this person competent? I mean, that's what they get asked to do. Are you competent for personal life decisions or are you competent for financial decisions? Those are the two ones, like financial, personal. And it's like, what about all the other things? Well, nobody's measuring that. And are you competent? Well, are you competent at 8 in the morning or are you competent at 5 at night? I mean, are you competent when you have an active Lewy body event or are you competent when you're not? Are you competent when you're on an antipsychotic that makes you unable to move? Or, I mean, Matthew, what do you sense in my presentation here? What are you picking up on? I'm laying it down. What are you picking up?
I'm picking up some frustration, some a little bit of distress, a little bit of distress in this because of really this speaking to the state of what we see out there, what we hear from so many different people who come to us with situations of what they're experiencing, what they're going through, and the moments of like, oh my gosh, I mean, and this has been going on how long, Teepa? How long has this been going on? And we're still just kind of doing the same thing, which what is the definition? If you just continue to do the same thing, that's not helpful.
Generation after generation, situation after situation. We have in courts, we have somebody who maybe spends a few hours with somebody, making determination about the rest of their life. Where will they live? How will they live? Well, how will they spend money? Will they have access to money? Who will make choices for them? And we have guardians, we have guardian ad litems, we have, we have people who are just healthcare power of attorney. We have, the fiscal power of attorney. We have estate plans. We have and then we have legal services like law enforcement. What is our training status for them? What about spiritual care? I mean, the whole thing. And family members being asked to step up and do this, professionals being asked to step up without skilled building. There's no skill building. And if I'm telling you skills change, and you got to be able to use the skills that remain. You got to be able to modify an environment. You got to be able to modify a task. You got to be able to shift your expectations and get new agreements. You've got to be able to realize when I make an agreement, I don't intend to disregard it. But if I have certain kinds of dementia, or if I'm in a certain state in my dementia, there's a high probability I will. Not because I don't intend to hold to it, but just like a 2-year-old, but different. You put 2 marshmallows on the table, you say, leave them there for an hour. Then I leave the room, go do other things. There's not much going on. And they've had marshmallows before. Guess what? They're super good. It's the whole idea of we set people up to fail and then we point out that they failed. So here's the deal. In Tennessee, we have an amazing PAC certified human being and a certified community. The Veranda Ministries, which is a day respite program. Marianne Southerly is the person. And she one time went before the legislature. Boom, boom, boom. We need to have respite available in this state. There has to be a place. It's not full adult day. It's not full adult day health. These are short windows. And people just are coming to be social, to be friendly, to be supported. They need to come into a space where they are respected. They are loved. They are cared for. They know that they're safe there. And we are trained. And the training she selected was PAC. I mean, because we say no care about me without me, and care has to be done with permission. And she gets that. And so therefore, about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, she went before the legislature and said, we got to do this. And she got people to agree. And it's you're going to, if you get a chance, you'll want to go. We're going to bring it up soon. A courageous conversation with 3 pieces with Marianne and I talking about this. She went before the state legislature, and it was one of the few bills that passed with 100% in the state, bipartisan, about allowing respite. But it had certain numbers, it had certain time, it had certain this, it had certain that. And it turns out that when you try to operate that, wow, over time, when you're not trying to make a profit, you're trying to offer a service. It has to be faith-based. I mean, these have to be faith-based organizations kind of thing, or nonprofit organizations that are designed. It turns out you actually, it's really hard to get ends to meet. And so they needed a few more people to be able to be there for certain numbers of, days, because families need breaks, but they don't want a whole day. They can't do a whole day because of all the changes. So what we did is we talked about all this. And this year, Marianne went before again to say we need a little more here. And interestingly enough, other groups who treat this more as a medical condition and are scared of it from life experiences that didn't go well, wanted to put limits on stuff, and they weren't sure this was okay or not. They might want ratios that are more intense because, and it's like, she says, well, we have all those ratios and we have training and we are doing this, and it's, this shouldn't be a big issue, but it was. And you're going to have to watch to see what happened, because it had to go before the legislature, the House, the Senate, but first had to get through committees, and then it had to be voted on. So you'll want to check it out. Marianne, once again, decided it's worth it to hold this up, bring this up, share this out. Families matter, people matter, and we need to change the culture of care.
And so Teepa, I want to pause right there for a second, because often we have people ask us, what can I do in my community? What can I do in my area to get things covered, to get things moving forward? Because we have none of this stuff. This being a great example, you get to hear Marianne talk about all of the things that she did, the people she talked to, the things she had to go through, because having that roadmap, having that information can totally help you where you are in starting that process and looking at what can we do where we are to bring something like that here. Because often there's nothing where where folks are. There's nothing in place. There's nothing in there to fund any of this stuff. It's literally, you just have to figure it out on your own. And the part that got me, that I because I got to be there to listen, Marianne brought up what really kicked this off initially too, was the fact that if the state would allow for churches to have 4 hours of childcare for Mother's Day, Easter service, all those things, without necessarily being like licensed and all of this other stuff, why wouldn't we have this option for other situations, to other people, to offer something similar to bring that respite?
Yeah, churches don't have to have license to care for a whole bunch of kids. Like a whole bunch. They don't. I mean, it's not required. But suddenly when we're talking about older adults, period, you have to have a license. And it's like, why? I mean, we're just bringing people together. I mean, it's a place people can come and be friendly. Nobody's holding anybody hostage. Nobody has to stay the whole time. Nobody has to check in, check out. Nobody has to, I mean, to me, it's like, you're regulating someone's life without having a handle on why you're regulating someone's life. I mean, I get that we want people safe, but we don't seem to worry about once we lock a door. And if you think people are safe, check the stats, because frankly, our minimum ratios are not necessarily the ratios that you would think in the skill is not actually required. Whether it's a day program, whether it's, like there's just so many places where it's not logical. I mean, having a judge making, like having the clerk of courts deciding, having, like all these things, you go like, wow, this is pretty crazy. A physician who hasn't actually seen somebody for a while, isn't really skilled at doing an assessment, is making determination. It's like, yikes, that's a little scary. So, all right, everybody, you've heard us go on for a bit. If you're in situations where it feels like everybody's talking about the condition like a disease or a medical condition, maybe it's time to take a step back and say, okay, well, let's talk about what's actually getting more interesting, better, makes me more curious. What does the person have available to them now that I never saw before? What's going on here that if I understood it better and could take my part of the puzzle and figure out how I can do something, what would happen? That's not what's happening now. And I think until we as a society start going, you know what? This is not a one size fits all. This is not a disease. This is a life change. Whoa. Okay. And until we get to a cure, if we ever get to a cure for the complex dementias that we know about, despite like the hype that's out there, I would say let's get interested in how we might deliver better quality support and care, because everybody deserves to shine. All right, everybody, till next time. You might want to check out the curious conversation we're going to put up on Marianne and I held, and take care of yourselves and take care with your care.
Thanks, Teepa. Bye, everybody.